Today, I'm gonna give you 6 of the most underrated side hustles for 2023. These have the potential to earn you anywhere from $100 to over $1,000 a day.
I got hit with this video from Jordan Welch about the 6 untapped side hustles for 2023. I think there's so many people on YouTube that talk about all these different side hustles, but I've not actually really thought about it and not really gone into the nitty gritty of which ones are actually good, which ones aren't that great for beginners, how much money do you need to invest starting out. I just wanna break each of these down and give you an idea of, in my opinion, which I think you would be able to see success with as a beginner or not. So let's jump into it.
Amazon.com produces over 1.3 billion a day in sales. This allows you to actually resell products from big brand retailers like Walmart and Costco.
So a big part that a lot of people won't talk about when it comes to these side hustle videos is just talking about the competition in the marketplace. Things like Amazon FBA, dropshipping, affiliate marketing, a lot of these things that have been around for decades at this point. I just did a search and over 1.5 million people searched about dropshipping just on YouTube last month. This could have been something that was very viable if you started in 2015, 2016. When they're presented in this way it's really simple and it's untapped is kind of, it's kind of a little bit of a white lie. Mostly because there's just so many people that are doing it. And when you do the math of, okay, there's a ton of competition, all it really does for you as the person wanting to start one of these side hustles is one of two things. Number one, pushing you out of the market because it's too competitive. Or number two is just you setting the right expectation that it's gonna take a ton of work and grinding in order to see success with something that's been around for a long time.
But if you're looking for something a little more hands-on, I highly recommend that you check out gutter cleaning. With this, you can easily be making $500 to
I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to clean out people's gutters, but hey, that's just me.
Then you can drive around some neighborhoods in your city and start door knocking to sell your service. Yes, door-to-door sales is not easy, but it's worth it and it will push you.
That's what I was gonna say is personally, I wouldn't wanna go out there. I think there are much simpler ways to do things from home where you can make money and not have to get dirty, rent ladders, drive around, knock on doors.
And reselling. More specifically, finding free items that you can flip for a profit. Without a doubt, the best thing to look for is furniture, because when people are moving out, they're going to end up giving away great stuff for free just to help get it off their hands.
I can attest to this 1,000,000% because I just moved across the country from Virginia to Arkansas. I left a couch, I left a bunch of dressers, I left clothes, I left some just random chairs that I am never probably gonna use in my life. I do see some viability in this as long as you understand that there's a lot of physical work, a lot of driving back and forth.
This is Brian. He's making over $100,000 a year simply by picking up trash in parking lots. The people that own these properties have tons of capital and will be happy to pay for it.
This is different from a lot of the other ones. This one is you get to partner with businesses that have the money and need a problem that they need to solve, right? A lot of the other ones, if you're selling, a lot of that's to consumers. Consumers, a lot of times, they have money, but it's not something that is dispensable. So to really drive this point home of how important it is to work with businesses that actually have money and a budget, my buddy Cole Gordon actually started off as a sales rep with a company that was paying him pretty decent, right? He was making more than he was as a 9-to-5, but the only problem is the opportunity that he was in was just not that great. So all he did was find a better opportunity, a better company to work for that his skills didn't get really that much better, but he was able to make twice as much as he did in that original opportunity because he just switched the business that he was working with. And he ended up doing that multiple times where he didn't really get better as a salesperson. He just changed the opportunity, changed the vehicle. In a second, I'm gonna show you how you can use that exact same concept to also 4 to 5 times your current income.
I'm talking about dropshipping, which is still undeniably one of the best ways to make money in 2023. You only need to learn 3 skills: product research, website design, and advertising.
Do a little bit of research on the person and then the type of course that they have. Obviously, he's selling a dropshipping course, so he's going to go really, really heavy into selling you the dropshipping course. Now, I know he's not going to go too much into the negatives of dropshipping because he's selling you a course on it, so I will give them to you here. When he says you only need to learn 3 skills, right? Product research, website design, and advertising. Product research, you're probably gonna spend a couple months figuring out how to do that. Website design, I've been trying to do website design for 3 years and I'm still terrible at it. And in advertising, I have an advertising team of like 7 to 8 people where they're each focused on different things. And it's been something that they've been doing for years. So advertising isn't something that you're just like, all right, cool,
Let me turn on an advertising campaign. So
you got to learn a lot of these skills in order to see success with dropshipping. It is what it is.
Let's move on to the last one. Commission-based sales jobs are the most lucrative jobs by far because you get paid.
Ooh, speaking my language.
Selling solar is one of the best opportunities to make some extra cash on the side. Solar power actually makes the environment a better place and saves the homeowner money. Therefore, it's pretty easy to convince people to purchase this for their house. The average solar installation can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, and most sales reps make 10 to 20% on every deal, which means you can bring in at a minimum $1,500 per sale.
Yeah, it's one of the most lucrative ways to do it because you don't have to start your own business, product, service, run advertising, run a team, like any of that stuff. You just come in, you learn one skill, you do it really, really well, and you partner with a product that actually works so that you feel in integrity when you're doing it. I actually worked at a solar company for about 6 months. I did the appointment setting. I went out and knocked on doors.
And going back to the solar panel thing, what's going on here in Hampton Roads about?
It's relatively new, so not a lot of people know about it.
And 2 things that rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah, they might save money, but they're gonna save money after like 25, 30 years when they're paying off the loan, because most people aren't actually buying solar like right out in cash. And then you also gotta go knock on doors, and a lot of times you have to go physically in person to sell solar. So a second ago, I mentioned how you can use that exact same concept of partnering with businesses to multiply your income. So what I wanna do is just break down the average numbers that you can expect when you're out on the doors as a solar rep. And again, I can tell you from experience, it was probably the hardest 6 months of my life. I did learn a lot from it, which was great, but the money was not really there. I think I actually like lost money on just the amount of gas that I would spend. On average, you're gonna knock, let's say if you knock 100 doors. Out of those 100 doors, you're gonna have maybe 20 people that answer them. You're gonna have a lot of people that peer through the window. You know that they're there. They're gonna talk to you on their Ring cameras, but they're very diligently not going to open the door. It's terrible. So 19 of those people are automatically going to hate you. They're gonna tell you, get off my porch, but you might get lucky and get one person allow you to come into their house and sit down at their table. So this initial section already is what pushes a lot of people away, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to go out in the heat, go out in the cold, go out, when it starts to get dark at 5 p.m. and still knocking on people's doors. Like, I just don't like to bug people and try to sell them something that they don't want and possibly don't need. Now, the commission numbers are gonna be a little different based on each company, but I was getting paid $300 per kilowatt of the system that was being installed on the homes. So I'd say on average, there'd be about 10 to 15 kilowatts, depending on the side of the house. So off of a 10 kilowatt system, I would make about $3,000. Now, the con of that is, again, you have to go through this entire process in order to make this. And this $3,000 is considering that you close every single person that you talk to. So industry standard is people are gonna close 20%. So that means you gotta talk to 5 of these people in order to close 3,000. So what that means is to get 5 of these to close at 20% is you need to knock on 500 doors in order just to make this $3,000. Now, just so I can compare and contrast to remote closing, what I do is I'm gonna on average take about 5 calls per day, 5 days out of the week. That's gonna be about 25 calls that I'm taking every single week. Like I said before, industry standard is about 20%, right? So that's gonna be about 20 deals closed every month. We take this right number here times 4 for the 4 weeks out of the month, and that's gonna be 20 closed deals, 20% of 100. So the offer price that I would sell, for example, is $7,500. You're gonna make about 10% of that, which is $750 every single time you close. So if we take the 20 that we talked about up here earlier, 750 times that 20 is gonna be about $15,000 a month. These are just example numbers. Don't take this to the grave. This is not a guarantee by any means, but the biggest thing here, it's all without knocking on a single door and pissing off a single person. But the thing with sales, and you can't really do it with any of these other ones, is if you learn sales, you are going to be able to build any of the other businesses, right? Because how do you get people to move forward with your gutter cleaning job? You have to sell them on why you should be able to clean their gutters. Every single side hustle we talked about is using sales, and you need to have sales and remote closing and these appointment setting skills in order to see success in any other side hustle out there. Click the first link down in the description below. It's gonna bring you over to the 4-step process of how to get started with remote closing, and also check out the video on screen, which will bring you through the step-by-step process of exactly where to find these companies that you can become a remote closer for.